All right, we are live. Everybody, welcome back to the Paddock Pass. My name is Patrick Harvey. Tonight we have with us Kevin and Andrew.
What's
Hey,
up, party
Kevin.
people?
Hey, Andrew.
How's it going?
Good, good. How are y'all?
Pretty
I mean,
good.
we got a week. We got a week left.
Counting
Yeah.
A
down.
week.
There's
A
so
week and a
much to
day.
do still. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to do. So what has happened in the past week? Has anything happened? I know we've all been like shuffling to get our cars ready. Yeah, that's kind of about it that I think.
I've been struggling to prepare 2 cars because Lauren's car is here as well. Fortunately, it's the same car as my car, so I know what to do. However, I have a bone to pick with dealership techs.
Ooh.
What's the issue?
Whoever last worked on Lauren's car put the oil filter on so goddamn tight.
Ah.
They
You know,
literally must have had like the oil filter, like big sockets you can get,
yeah.
and fucking impacted that shit on there. Like, there's no other explanation for how tight this thing was on there.
I
Like, I
feel like
couldn't move it with my hands. Like, this was the Subaru puts the oil filter in the perfect place. It's on top of the engine, so there's no risk of a mess. Like, you have the perfect leverage to grab it. I couldn't move it, and I was trying so hard that I ended up hurting my arm because I couldn't get this fucking oil filter off. So we had to go back to the parts store to get another oil filter socket to then just twist it off. And it took some effort still. So
Hand tight.
Yeah.
Hand tight.
hand
you
tight.
know this happens a lot too. In my line of work, I run into it at least once or twice a day, but usually it's not like usually people aren't like over tightening filters, right? It's just the lack of like pre-lubing the O-ring on the filter.
Mm.
Just not pre-lubing that makes it almost impossible to get them off of.
Oh,
Like
interesting.
I end up having to like stab them and like completely destroy the filter. Yeah.
See, I always thought you did that for like anti-leak purposes, but it's to make sure that it stays lubricated for the whole.
Literally it's there to like just seal that up properly, and also it's like almost an anti-seize, right? You just don't want that rubber to bond to dry metal or like to stick on dry metal. It just makes it really, really tough to get off.
Well, I guess, yeah.
So, a question on oil filters.
Yeah.
Do you pre-fill the filter with a little bit of oil to kind of charge it, or no? Just let it go dry.
And stuff like cars, right? Like I don't think it particularly matters. It's such a small capacity oil filter.
Yeah.
But larger engines, where there's like 1 or 2 gallons in an oil filter, 100%, yeah.
Yeah. So, Andrew, your comment here actually gave me there was a YouTube video I saw this week. Some shop that has a YouTube channel. Basically, TLDR, somebody buys a Nissan Altima from a dealership that has like 10,000 miles on it, I think. And the car has like massive issues. And, dealer, I'll send you the video, but it's like, just the shop the dude went to and the car owner got on the phone with the dealership it was bought from. I've never seen anybody or anyone wash their hands of a problem like this dealership did. Like, it was so bad.
Like, did they just point to the sign that said "as is"?
No, so like the guy was like, oh, you told me like if there were any safety issues, like, I could come back. And the dealership person, I think it was one of the techs from the shop, was like, we did our safety check. The car could turn on. Like it was like I can't even remember specifically what it was, but it was like the car can turn on, the wheel moves properly, blah 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 blah. And they're like, "This is our safety check." It's like, holy shit! Like, this is bad. I don't know if they knew they were being like, recorded, but like it was bad.
All dealerships
Seriously
suck
bad.
all the time.
Dealerships are horrible. They're
All
terrible.
of them.
So I'm at the point now in the car where I'm almost to like nutting and bolting stuff, and almost got the car ready. Hopefully tomorrow I should be firing up. But
you're well ahead of me.
Yeah.
I do not believe I will be ready for event 1 of the season. So
You
I
don't
will
think
be
so?
there running TT. I don't believe I will be driving though. So you are a better man than I, Patrick.
It's a group. It's a communal effort. You know, Sean and Trey both have a few hours into this. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if everybody's cool with that, I think that wraps up our past week and upcoming. We have main coming up. We'll move into our main content for the show tonight, and I wanted to discuss mental health and physical health in the off season. What do y'all do besides iRacing and stuff to stay sharp in the off season? What do you do to cure your non-track blues? What do you do to stay happy in the wintertime?
You go first, Kevin.
Me first?
Yep.
I mean, my wintertime is generally filled with, my entire year is really filled with kids' activities and trying to get them where they need to go. That's helpful. It's a good diversion for me. I enjoy seeing my kids do what they do best. This past weekend we were at Old Ox Brewery in Ashburn. Yeah, Ashburn. For my son Chase, he was so he goes to he plays guitar, he takes lessons locally here, and the place he takes lessons, School of Rock, they also do performance groups 3 or 4 times a year. So he had his performance. He was in the Nirvana performance group.
Oh,
So that was
so
fun.
cool.
That was fun to see. Yeah, like it was really cool. And
Yeah.
they did a good job. It's a broad range of age, so like middle school through the range of high school. So it's really cool to see, and these kids are pretty talented. So it's fun to watch.
I've seen those School of Rock things before. So that's
Mhm.
just like a private music school.
Yeah.
Did they focus mainly on like stringed instruments, like the name implies, like rock band related things, or is it like are there woodwind players? Are there?
I don't know if like I think it's just like I think it focuses on like what a band would have, right?
Yeah.
So guitar, bass, drums, keyboard. I don't know if you can go there. Like I don't know that they do music lessons for like woodwinds, trumpets, stuff like that. But I honestly don't know. Sorry, I
That's
had a
cool.
child almost blow through my door there. But no, it's really cool. So like, he does his lessons. So he does a weekly lesson for an hour there. But I think the cool thing, I think what I most love about School of Rock is they do these performance groups, right? So it's like, the kids, they learn a whole set. So like they did 12, 14 Nirvana songs maybe. And they had, it's a whole group, and not everybody plays in every single song, but they have to learn the set, and then they do 2 performances for that performance group, which I think is pretty cool. So they all get up on stage. It was at Old Ox Brewery while it was open. So, obviously I think most of the people there were, parents of the kids that were playing. But anybody who's at the brewery that day can certainly come in and watch and drink a few adult beverages.
Do
For
they
the-
open or close with "Smells Like Teen Spirit"?
They did not play Teen Spirit, and actually, it's funny you mentioned that.
It's a bold strategy. Yeah.
Yeah. There was
They should play in utero instead.
they do edit some some of the words in the song, so like it's rated for kids in middle school and high school, which is good, but it was fun to watch.
Is it a traditional band layout? Or is there more members? Is it like a 3-piece? Is it a 4-piece?
No, like they'll like on some songs, like they had 3 guitarists up there.
Yeah.
So I assume what they do is they try and, they probably try and make sure all the kids get about the same number of songs that they perform in. But then, they have like lead guitar, rhythm guitar, stuff like that. 1 or 2 rhythm guitars, depending on the song. So
That's neat.
yeah, it's cool. It's cool. They do a good job. So was fun to watch. Yeah, I think in the wintertime, my car is like my mental health agony. Because I go through I'll go through like 2 or 3 weeks at a time where like I'm working on it hardcore and getting ready for the upcoming season.
Yeah.
And then I'll just go through a stretch where I'm like, I don't want to work on this. Like I don't know what it is. Cause like I go like I make a plan for what I'm gonna do in the off season and I go into it all excited, like, walking out of the Jefferson event, or I guess in this case, the November Dominion event. I'm like, all right, I'm ready to, do this to the car over the winter time. And then I just hit those blocks and it's like, a couple weeks at a time, we're like, I don't want to touch this thing. I don't know why, but
I
I don't
think
know if it's like
everybody.
seasonal affective disorder or what.
No, yeah, 100%. We all go through that. I know that I do. Yeah, you start out the season with the greatest intents, right? And then I hate working on stuff, man. I feel like I'm always working on something. I would just want to have days where I'm like not dirty and greasy.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Kevin, where's your ECU at right now?
What's that?
Where's your ECU at right now?
Oh, it's in the car.
Oh, okay, good.
It's in the car.
Does the car run?
No, so I'm waiting. I have one cable I need before I can get it running. Basically what I'm doing is for my intake air temp sensor, I've bought a cable that connects the sensor to the old MAF cable. And that runs a signal all the way back to the ECU. So that should be here Monday. And then once that's in, I should be able to fire it up and then do the rest of what I need to do.
Yeah.
But, lazy off season.
So you don't have anything that you do for yourself or you do by yourself? Do you do like yoga? Do you exercise? What do you do besides car stuff to keep yourself happy?
Yeah, no, that's over the last year I've started doing some more, and I definitely don't do enough, but like, I do some working out throughout the day, like push-ups, sit-ups, squats, stuff like that. I try and take a nice little walk every day, like get out of the neighborhood, walk around for like 20, 30 minutes just to move around. But I keep throwing around this idea that I'm going to hop back in the pool and start swimming again, like for some real workout type stuff. And it just never happens.
I see that we have somebody in the lobby. It looks like Foster is here. Do y'all want to add Foster on the stage and see what he has to say?
Foster.
Let's talk to Foster, please.
Yo, what's going on?
Foster's more interesting than I am.
Yo, you might regret adding me to the chat.
No, not at all. We're just talking about our off seasons and what we do to stay happy and how we stay mentally and physically, ready.
Yeah, it's been a long off season for sure. Like I'm a little skeptical to see how this first day on Maine goes, considering it's been snowing recently.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be a cool day. I think we all just have to approach it 1 foot at a time, right?
Yeah.
Oh hell no! I'm going for the max 4 record. My first lap out.
right out of the gate.
Out of the gate. Fuck everybody else. I'm ready to die lap 1.
You're gonna set the record in the warm up session.
Yep, which won't count, as Trey found out.
Technically, I do still have my winters on the Type R, so maybe I just leave them on and go track that.
It might be a good idea. Yeah,
I'm sure you could drive pretty quickly in that.
Yeah. Do you have any things that you do, Foster? Do you do meditation? Do you work out? Do you ride bicycles, ski?
Typically sun salutations and naked yoga. That's a good way to stay in shape.
Right.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. Do you have like a what are those called? The artificial sunlight for your naked yoga, so you can.
Oh yeah, it's a whole vibe. I have the soundtrack. No, I did have a hot tub that we got this year, which is pretty awesome.
That's nice.
it is an energy hog. Like I got my bill from BG&E, and it's like your energy use doubled in the last month. So
Dude, I'm
Shocking,
jealous,
right?
man. I want a hot tub so bad.
it doesn't keep you in shape, like, but it
No.
definitely helps you relax after work.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
How-
nice.
So
Now,
how long
Foster
does it take
would-
to get up to temperature? Like if you turned it off and left it off for a week, how long does it take to get back up to temperature that you could enjoy it?
I mean, I never really go full off because you don't want things to freeze. But like, if I'm not using it, I'm gone for like a week or something. I'll turn it down to like 80. And if you leave it around 80 or 85, it only takes like an hour to get to 102. So that's typically
That's not
where I
bad.
leave it at.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Now, Foster, would you be interested in leading naked yoga in the paddock at the end of each day this year? Like if we made that a new thing?
Blindfolded naked yoga. Yeah, let's do
Blindfolded
that.
naked yoga? Okay. All right.
I don't know if I want to see y'all
Well,
naked in the
We'll
paddock.
bring that up with leadership.
It could be a Dominion thing.
That could be a Dominion thing.
Yeah, then that way they'll definitely think Dominion's the oddball event.
Oh,
but no,
man.
in all seriousness, at like motorcycle track days and race events, a lot of times in the morning there would be like some yoga people there that led like warm up stretches and stuff like that, because this is a little bit more, you know, of a physical thing, right? If you go out cold and your body's cold,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Well, but you know, we just had the fat clinics, right? Like, and now it's a little different driving in the Crown Vics, right? Because like it's just regular 3-point belts, so like you slide around a little bit more. But I left that day, and there were parts of my body that were, you know, fairly sore because I was trying to brace myself in the car. It's like, oh, I don't have my typical harnesses that like hold me nice and tight into my car. I'm like, yeah, my age is catching up to me.
Oh, I don't miss those knee bruises that you would get when you had stock
Yeah.
seats and stock belts.
Well, especially because the S2000 seats are leather, and before I got harnesses, you're just
Oh, so
sliding
you just
all
like
around.
slide around.
Yeah, at least if you have
Yeah.
cloth seats, they hold you in a little bit better. But
Yeah.
The 86 seats were pretty trash in almost no bolstering, and I would just be flopping around all over the place. And the seat was one of the first things I did to the car.
I think Trey's dad has the car that takes the cake for worst seats ever. Trey, you know which car I'm talking about too.
is it
the Camaro,
The Camaro. Yep.
the bench, not bench seats. They
Yeah.
I drove 20 minutes in that car, and it was the most trying thing I've ever done.
It had two-piece seatbelts, right? Like the lap clipped in, and then the shoulder clipped in separately. Like, right? Like, did you have to clip both of them in?
No, that car did not. It wasn't.
Or
that
was it?
good.
Or did it have the chest belt that would like run on the thing?
We're talking about Chevy in the 80s.
80s. Yeah. No, I
It did
know.
not have those things.
Okay.
But also,
All right.
the seats had so much flex in the floor pan that it wasn't you moving. It was literally the bottom of the car shifting. Oh, it was horrendously dangerous. And we put it on a cheap 200 treadwear, but it was on RS4s, which is more grip than that car ever had.
Yeah.
And
Jesus
like,
Christ.
you would go through turn 4 and it felt like the car was going to flip over. It was it was a terrible car. I will say it was very fun to drive at the limit.
I've always thought those 80s Camaros look cool, but there's no way that they're built for what you're doing with it.
No.
Oh no,
No,
not at all.
You got to sink 40 grand into one to make it
Yeah.
any semblance of good.
I bet you, because that car had a cam in it, and it did not have the 302. It had a 350 in it.
Oh, I was gonna ask, was that an Iron Duke Camaro or?
No, so it was, but it did not have the factory motor in it. So it had
Oh,
like
okay. All right.
an older LT1, I think, like out of
Okay.
the Corvettes.
Is
And
it solid axle too?
yes,
Nice.
it was. It's a lot of fun to drive at the limit, but it was also egregiously terrifying. I would not.
I bet the brakes sucked.
No, the brakes were good because I made him fix all of that. from day one. I was like, you can't. No, like we're gonna buy good race pads. We're gonna do nice. Like I think we put 660 in it. And, you know, it was when Dad was brand new, like he did his first track day in that car. And it was still a handful. And I don't think I'm not sure if he ever ran a full weekend of every session in the car because of how difficult it was to physically drive the vehicle. Like it did have power steering, but you're doing so much work just trying to hold on to
brace your body.
Yeah.
So what made David go from that to a Miata for his track car of choice?
Common sense.
Yeah. Was it just expendables and stuff? I mean,
no, if anything, the Miata has been more expensive. Just that car was really hard. It was hard to drive. And that would be, Andrew would know better than me. Technically a G body.
I don't know. It's around the same era.
I don't think it's a G body. It's the same era, but I think it's a different body. It's a chassis, different chassis.
I thought G bodies came after, but I could be wrong.
G bodies are like 80s cutlasses and
yeah, it's the same. Like it's the same car underneath, though, isn't it?
I'm not sure. I thought they were different chassis.
The Grand National is a G body, isn't it?
Yeah, Grand National, Cutlass, the Oldsmobile, a few of those things.
Yeah, I think he grew up and finally realized, like, because he bought, so he got the car for $500. It ran, but needed a clutch. Did a clutch, ended up rebuilding the transmission. I gave him 200 tread wears and made him put good brakes on it. And then he's like, this car's exhausting to drive. Because it was honestly exhausting to drive. And then,
not a good lapping car.
Camaro was an F body, not a G body.
Up to what year?
2000.
Whenever they went to the Catfish, right?
Yeah,
2002.
All first 4 generations. So generation 1, 2, 3, and 4 were F body.
Yeah.
Oh, I learned something new today.
Yeah.
I thought
it was a G body too, to be honest with you, Trey.
Maybe that G body was bigger.
I don't know.
Anyway,
isn't the F body the same as like the Trans Ams and stuff too?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same chassis.
So you're saying like the shark or Catfish is the same chassis?
Up to the 3rd generation. Isn't that the that model Camaro, the 3rd gen? And then they went to the Catfish Camaro, which is the 4th gen, different chassis.
So Dad had
Yeah.
Interesting.
4th gen, it said, was still F body, Patrick.
Oh, still an F body. Okay.
Yeah, so 5th generation is where it
changed.
There was also a bit of a gap between 4th and 5th gen in terms of years, but
what's the cutoff? 92 to 99?
Whenever they stop making the 4th gen Camaro. I don't know what year. I closed down Wikipedia already. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Delightfully terrible car. Highly recommend. I do think running it would be in SCCA, it would be American Sedan, or in NASA would be American or Spec Iron Spec or American Iron.
There can't be that many people in that class. Is it very competitive, or
they have a reputation for being apes on track?
For NASA, for SCCA, it's a
fairly popular class.
Yeah.
Also, like they're really popular in hill climb too. There's a video recently of one just like an absolutely menacing 3rd gen Camaro at a hill climb event, and it's just like it's just insane. I think it has like a modern LS, like a 408 stroker motor, and it's just singing all the songs going up a hill. Looks awesome.
The song of its people.
Yeah.
I don't even think our cars would be fun in a hill climb because they're so gutless that you just floor it everywhere.
I want to go do a hill climb really bad. I think our cars would be a blast. I mean,
that would be fun.
Yeah, I mean, so it's talk to Brian, right? Like he's won. I think he's won overall at a couple hill climbs with just
Yeah.
a bolt-on E85 GR
Mhm.
platform. I guess not FRS platform.
Yeah, that was before the engine swap too.
That was yeah.
I
Yeah,
think testicular fortitude really matters in hill climb.
That's a great way to say it.
You know, like it just takes a lot of commitment. I think that's all there is to it. Like horsepower is,
You are accepting a lot of risk doing a hill climb, though.
yeah, you
Yeah.
are.
Well, it screw you up in your head too, because like there are tracks where you have to brake uphill, and it's surprising how late you can brake. But then if you were to just get used to like hill climb mode and like braking super late, and then you go to a normal track, you just freaking go off turn one,
Yeah.
braking way too deep. So you got to kind of calibrate, I'm sure.
Yeah, tell the guy on the Corvette he can break at the one board and see what happens.
So, Foster, outside of your naked yoga, anything else? I know you've had to put a bunch of cycles in on the S2000. You added some money to your wallet selling the EP3 for what seemingly was an outrageous amount of money to me.
That helps your mental health.
So,
Hey, a car's worth whatever someone's willing to pay for it. So that worked out pretty good though.
I mean,
It was clean. It was really tight.
I bought it for 6. I sold it for 7. It wasn't like a huge come up. I mean, we put an exhaust on it and did some maintenance. So, I mean, we got our money's worth out of the car. But obviously, I don't think it's a good family car. I don't want to be folding a seat all the time to get a baby in and out. And there's no way it's safe either. If you look at it, it's like a tin box. Like, so all I considered it just wasn't going to be in our stable for long. No, but my S2000 though, I really haven't done anything since last season because I have a shop, which is awesome, but it's not a heated shop. So like the idea of like taking my old vinyl off and, you know, a 30-degree shop just never sounded appealing to me, and pulling the dash and the things I need to do, I just haven't got around to. So it's at the body shop at the moment, getting some small repairs done, like the hood and stuff is getting fixed. Then it's getting wrapped. Then I have my suspension getting rebuilt at Fortune Auto right now, so that'll be cool. I think that's probably the biggest performance upgrade for next season is different spring rates, a little bit softer.
Soft.
you're going softer.
Mhm.
What was on it before? 14 square?
14 and 12.
Okay.
So
And you're going to 1210?
I'm doing 13, 11. So not like crazy, but just a little bit softer. I had the Olins on the car at the end of last season, and Austin's like old Olins that need a rebuild actually somehow felt a little bit better in some ways than my Fortunes felt. So I'm trying to apply what I learned having those on the car to my two ways, because in theory the two way should be a far superior setup, but it's all just about getting them dialed in, which is a very challenging thing to do. I'm in over my head with these. So
You're also going two ways. So everybody just decided this winter to
I
just
think he's had 2 ways on the car.
no.
yeah, I had two ways on the car, and it was set up well for like main and smoother tracks. But when I went to Shenny, it really showed how poorly set up it was.
I didn't realize your Fortunes were two ways. Are they remotes or
Yeah, they're remotes. They're a pain in the ass. I got to take my wing off every time to get to the trunk to adjust the rears.
Oh no.
Have they already been rebuilt?
Yeah, I went with Swift springs, same brand of swings. Springs, just different spring rates. Different valving though, so that should be slightly different too.
So I bring that up because can you have them extend the whatever you would call it,
The line.
Yeah, the line, so you could put it all the way up on the hoop of the roll bar.
Yeah, I mean that's probably a good idea. I drilled some huge holes in my trunk to run the lines through into the trunk, but I guess that could just be speed holes at this point. I could just drill more holes and take some weight out of the car.
Well, they can still go the same routing, right?
Yeah.
But
Just run it
having
all the way up to the bar.
yeah, having dealt with the same issue, right? I had to bribe Alessi's kid to climb in the back of my car so I didn't have to take the entire wing assembly off.
So that's actually a good idea. While it's at Fortune, which is like this happening this week, I should see if they can put like 5 feet longer lines on.
100%, yeah, like
It doesn't. It's probably
2 or 3 feet to the line.
I'd say add 36 inches to it.
And then,
That's actually a really good idea.
Right where that sway bar, where that bar comes up beside the the door opening or the window molding or the B pillar, whatever you want to call it, just right there on a P clamp, so you can just reach in the window and adjust them. I was thinking,
that's a great idea.
I'm in a position right now, right? Because I just put 2 ways on the car, and then they're like, they will not make it into the trunk the way the sheet metal is back there. So I need to run them in somewhere. My line's too short, so right now they're going to have to live on the rear subframe until I can either extend the line and take it all the way to that bar of the B pillar, or figure something else out.
I just open my trunk and just twist it up.
I mean, you and I planned ahead. I also don't care about holes in my car.
No, the previous this is where one of the differences between Gen 2 BRZ and Gen 2 86 reared their ugly head. So on Gen 2 BRZ, which is where these coilovers were mounted previously, there was a nice little spot there's a bar that goes across the rear subframe that isn't there on the 86.
Yeah,
that's where they were mounted. That's where they were mounted previously. So when I got them, I was like, well, the lines aren't long enough to go in through the trunk vent, which is what you normally do on an 86. So I had to cut holes in my trunk, and now the reservoirs go up and in the trunk.
So you're saying the first gen is easier for that than the second gen?
I'm saying if you're having 2 ways with reservoirs built for a GR86, make sure you have that extra 36 inches.
You think 3 feet will do it?
I do.
It would be pretty close. I mean, I would measure it for sure, but it should be close. Do you have an idea of where they were before?
Yeah.
Just try to get a string, from there to the bar and see what that extra distance is.
Just pull your shoelaces out or grab some welding wire from work.
Yeah.
But it's a good idea, honestly. That would make my life way easier at the track, because then I would feel more inclined to actually work on getting my suspension dialed.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's what I want to do. I'm going to wait until, I don't know, at some point during the season to have those lines remade and before I start cutting more holes. So they'll live on the subframe until then. But Sean came up with the idea. He was like, just mount them on the bar right beside the window. So I thought it was a great idea. I'm going to try to do it.
And technically not illegal if they're not automatically adjustable, like by a digital control module.
Oh, man, if you got some extenders too, and you could reach them both,
you could make shock
on track.
Dude.
Before each corner, you adjust your suspension settings.
But I don't know where I'm going here. I'm trying to transition back to our mental health topic, though. Andrew, we haven't heard from you. What do you do that isn't iRacing related to stay happy and sane in the off season?
So for me, I think Kevin brought it up, but I get the seasonal affective disorder really badly.
Yeah.
So I make a point to stay active, both with exercise and being outside as much as I can physically tolerate with the cold. Yeah. And then I also have a UV light that I put on my work desk that really helps get the vitamin D production going and helps regulate my helps keep the SAD away.
Yeah, it's a real thing too. It just stays so gray here and depressing in the wintertime. I've never seriously considered it, but if you think it makes that big of a difference, that's something I would love to give a try.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're very cheap on Amazon, and I it could be placebo, but I feel like they make a difference.
I mean,
do you have to put sunscreen on before you go work at your computer then?
No, because I keep it on the low mode. I've actually never heard of anybody having that issue, but that is funny. And I have had comments about how I'm still tan in February before. So
yeah.
It's also good to have, at least for me, goals with the car. So like at the beginning of the off season, I wasn't even planning on doing anything major to the car, but then somebody, Trey, motivated me to completely rethink that and do all kinds of crazy shit and put aero on it, and now here we are. I'm in the max party, and that and the knowledge of a big change like that was a good motivator to be excited for the upcoming season.
Yeah, and that helps too. It helps to have like a goal that you're trying to reach, you know. I think that's important.
You're gonna enjoy it. Like you're already really diving into the corners and carrying a lot of speed, but like the first couple of events, you'll be like, noticing that there's more in the car now that you have the arrow, and yeah, like you'll be like going a couple mile per hour faster in all the corners now. It'll be pretty cool to see.
I hope so. I hope it's one of those upgrades that is just, automatically everything is better and you don't have to think about how to make it be better. But I don't know.
It's more your brain than anything. You just like, I think it was one of the instructors at SCCA said like you got to trust the science, and it's a good thing to remind yourself before you go into a high speed corner. You're like, all right, just trust the science. Like the downforce is there, and you just kind of, it feels very unnatural, but I'm sure within a couple of events you'll be used to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like driving a downforce car on iRacing, or you think about how like a Formula One driver thinks about aero is that the faster you go, the more grip you have.
Yeah.
To a degree.
Yeah. There's limits there, obviously, because you're limited by the tire, but still, like, the faster you're going, the more downforce the car is producing. So.
Well, you've seen the Top Gear episode where Hammond drives Renault's 2005 F1 car, right?
Well,
it's basically
driving is a stretch, but yes.
Yeah, well, the whole thing is like I have to go a whole lot faster so the brakes have temperature and it stops, and the tires have temperature so it turns, and also so the aero has air going over it so I can turn as well. Like, yeah.
You have to use it.
It's like, yeah. Either drive a whole lot faster or you don't drive at all. And after, a lap and a half, your neck is like, because you've blown the muscles out because the car corner with such force. Like,
so what did you do all to your car, Andrew? I know you did wing in the rear. You did what else? Splitter?
Yep, there's a splitter and hood vents.
Are they all like Varus engineering, or what did you go with?
No, so the wing is 9 lives, the splitter is race bred, and the hood vents are track spec.
Okay.
And you bought the wing from Trey, right?
Trey donated it.
Ooh.
Or loaned. Loaned is a better word.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
I had to pay to get the wing repaired and the uprights to get them on the car.
That's still pretty affordable aero, all things considered. You can easily drop a couple $1,000s if you want. Oh yeah,
I did things the cheap way, as I normally do.
And if you order from 9 Lives, you have to wait like almost a year and a half to get your wing.
Says the guy who has Penske's on his car. He's saying he does.
I still got them cheap. I still got them cheap. Like they were still a bargain.
Bargain Penske's.
But do they work?
Yes, they do.
Oh, there you go. That's all that matters, right?
Yeah, I got them used and at a friend price, so it's not.
Yeah, Andrew is just like the adopted child of the Paddock currently, and we feel bad for him
being just throwing parts
in a slow car, and I'm creating the fact that he can have no excuses next season for sucking.
We need to start to look a lot more ratty too, because otherwise you won't fit in with the rest of us.
Yeah, I don't think
that is fair.
I don't think Andrew's going to suck next year. To be honest, I don't think he's going to suck.
If you just Andrew, if you just put a ratty, livery on a wrap and wrap your car in it, then you'll look ratty, and that's the easy way to do it.
Multicolored panels, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
If you pay for it, I'll put it on the car.
What if
Well,
I
you better
throw
be
it on-
careful with that one.
A Harlequin 86.
That's
Each
possible.
panel wrapped in a
It's
different
very
color.
possible. I know of multiple crashed ones that we could just pull panels from.
well. I also have like 5 different colors of wrap right here, so we can make it look real bad, real
Well,
fast.
let me get some photos of it looking like the coolest car in the paddock, and then you can do whatever you
You
want.
have
with it.
photos. You have enough. You have your hard parking bullshit.
No. There needs to be photos of me going fast on the track or looking like I'm going fast. Patrick Torvik.
I was gonna say it's all in how it's all in how Patrick takes photos or Alan. They can make you look fast. That's not a problem.
Well, what about you, Trey? What do you do to stay mentally sane in your off season?
My
He
answers are
fixes
not,
Corvettes.
yeah, my
Oh.
answers are not good in this one
You don't have any
because there's
positivity out here.
there's yeah, I have no value add in this type of conversation, unfortunately.
Okay.
I have too many cars here and none of them are mine, and I'm very excited to get other people out with better cars that will be faster and more reliable, but none of those are mine, and that honestly stresses me out a little bit. I have
Is your cage done?
not done. It should be done on Monday ish, maybe. So we'll say the following Monday.
I was gonna say I saw some pictures. It's looking good.
It's going to be great. I mean, the car is going to be awesome, but I also don't want to rush it.
Mhm.
Most of the things have not been centric on myself, more so working on business type things and enabling everybody else. And I do find enjoyment in that. I don't find enjoyment in being stagnant personally. And that's kind of how I cope with my very similar, like winter is tough for me. Like the lack of light, going to work in the dark, coming home in the dark is miserable.
So it sounds like you just stay busy and keep your mind off the fact that it's winter.
Yes, that's 100% what I do.
Can't be depressed if you don't have time to think about it.
Mhm.
I would,
Trey,
yeah, that's
Trey,
a
are
fact.
you taking the family sedan to Maine then? Or
Yeah. Absolutely.
so at least
Because-
you have a car you can take to the track. And
I
it'll
do.
survive.
It needs rear brake pads and an oil change, which will happen this weekend. And I've got some yokes sitting at another friend's house. So need to go pick those up. And then we're going to go for 21s.
21s. Wow. Okay.
Oh, it's there. It could do 21s for sure. I think it could do a high 20.
Ooh,
I think it can.
You willing to put some money on that?
listen
No.
to the confidence.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Hey, more
But-
power to you if you do it. I don't really know what a Type R can do around Maine because I haven't had a chance to drive mine there. But I mean, they're fast and that's more of a power track. And typically with other Type Rs, when I'm in my S2000, if it's a power track, the Type R has a bit of an advantage. If it's a momentum track, the S2000 will have an advantage. So yeah, I think a faster lap time than what I'm doing in the S2000, which is a high 22. So you're probably in the 21s for sure.
So I've done what did we do at the last with obstruction, did a low high 22?
Yeah, I beat you. So it was a high 22.
So a high 22, but it was in warm up. And then Dan came in and just, smacked the Elantra hammer around and ruined my weekend. But I have actually gone faster in the Type R on pinched yokes. So a 255 on an 8 at Shenny than I have actually ever driven one of my personal cars.
I'm sorry. Did
Turbo
you say a
torque, man, that-
255 on an 8?
Yep. Autocross rules.
Oh my god.
And they
I'm
were
nervous. I'm nervous about my 255s on a 9. Like I don't know how that's going to go at all.
It'll be fine.
well, so now we're gonna run 255s on 9.5.
Which
That's
is
ideal.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it should be.
9.5, 10.
It's yeah, I think 21s are there. in my again,
It's gonna be cold.
Full into boost weather.
Yeah.
Boost weather.
Boost weather. The car picks up 7 mile an hour between breakfast and afternoon session.
It
So,
picks up
like,
or
Loses
loses.
7 miles an hour.
Say that again.
It picks up or loses 7 mile an hour.
Yeah.
So in the morning, my data shows I'm 7 mile an hour faster.
So you lose 7 miles.
Oh yeah.
So you lose 7. Yeah. Okay.
That's great. Like that's significant.
That is nuts.
Do you think that's heat related? Because I know the Type R's overheat too.
Yeah.
Do you think that's what's
We're-
going on?
So we're literally talking air temp, like first lap. So first flyer.
Oh, okay.
I have seen as much as a 9 mile an hour delta. On
How much
front
time is
straight.
that on the main straight? Half a second?
I have no
A
clue.
second?
It's a bit of time. Now, a
Yeah.
mile an hour is a lot of difference.
It's a
Yeah.
lot though. Like the car feels different. So I'm very curious to see, and that'll fix all my winter mental health for sure.
21
Yeah.
would make all of us really happy for sure.
Which is
Yep.
loony to me in a basically bone stock daily driven family hatchback.
21 is knocking on the door of Camaro territory.
So you're signed up for TT. It sounds like Trey.
Yeah, of course.
Nice.
If I could get anywhere into the deep 21s, I don't think the car. So I think the Camaro, for example, in factory prep with square tires like you had, I think the car is deep 19s.
Whew.
I don't know. Those cars move, man.
They do. They're just heavy. They're really heavy.
They're fast, though.
How much does the Type R weigh?
3,200.
8,000 pounds.
3,200 pounds. Really?
It's a big girl.
You think it's that much? I think it's like 3.
Well, I'm fat. You weigh 7 pounds, so
I don't know if driver weight is that much, but you also have to track the Type R's with a full tank of gas or they get fuel cut, and then you pop a check engine light, and then it's a pain in the ass to reset. So yeah, that's kind of a nuisance about them. You can't run them low on gas like a lot of cars.
Sounds
Yeah.
like turbo car problems.
yeah. So yeah, one session. If you go out for another session at a full tilt lap, it definitely throws a code for me.
Man, I don't miss those issues. I love that my last 2 cars were NA and I could run them down to the fuel light and no problems.
You know what else I really like? Getting in my comfy, cozy family sedan that I could put a literal 8,000 watt generator in the back of and just go drive in the snow and have no issues.
Mhm.
It is.
I don't know, guys. It sounds like Trey's getting old.
It does sound like he's getting.
I'm very old.
I got my heated seats.
I don't have heated seats. That would I want a heated steering wheel.
Heated seats make you talk about mental, just mental health. Like if you want to have good mental health, have heated seats and a heated steering wheel.
The
I
cool
don't have
seats
heated
steering
on the Camaro were a game changer in the boiling heat of August.
Yeah.
At the track, just
So
you
cool.
flip that switch and let your butt cool off, and it was awesome.
Did I tell you guys that I've been daily driving the van this winter?
Oh, you got it.
No.
You've been driving the
Yeah.
van?
Yeah, I'm driving my huge double-decker camo van to work
Camo
every day.
van. I love it. That's
That's
You got it
awesome.
fixed? You got the brake issues fixed and everything?
Yeah. So a brake line blew out on it right when we were coming down to the banquet. So luckily not during driving, but got that fixed. But the reason I brought it up is it has pre-start, so it's actually pretty nice because I warm it up in the mornings before I go to work. It's pretty
That
cool.
is really nice.
Yeah. My truck has that as well,
Is
and
it-
I've used that quite a few times, and when it's 19 degrees outside and I don't feel like starting it.
Foster,
It makes a
Foster is a
difference.
Sprinter? You have a Sprinter, Foster?
No, it's a Econoline E350.
Okay.
So it's a beast. It gets terrible gas mileage, but
Still fun to drive.
yeah,
But it tows your car and you sleep in it. So
yeah, exactly. You get some funny looks driving to work on a Monday morning in that thing.
Foster, you want a mint 2000 Civic sedan, automatic.
Is it
Power
something you own?
Yeah.
Is it the green one?
Yeah.
I do like that car. I don't know if I can convince my pregnant wife to buy more project cars. We're kind of
It's not a
funneling
project
money
car.
into.
Yeah,
I
it
have all
doesn't-
the parts. I have everything to.
doesn't really line up with his lifestyle right now.
What is she gonna do? No.
What do you want her to drive it?
No. Morgan gets the Type R. Foster gets a commuter car that gets 38 miles a gallon.
You know, Foster, the GR
So
Corolla is
practical.
coming to automatics now. So
We did look at that, but I mean, so I was honestly before we finally got a Subaru Outback, which is extremely boring, but it'll do the job as a family car. Before that, though, I was looking at GTIs and I was looking at Focus, STs, and yeah, even GR Corollas and anything remotely cool I could think of. But the problem is it's really hard to put a baby seat, especially an infant seat where you have to put it backwards in the back seat of a lot of those sports cars. Like a GTI, for instance, you have to have the passenger seat all the way forward to get a rear-facing infant seat in it, which means the passenger seat is useless. And if I were to drive with my wife, she'd be in the back seat behind me, which is super weird.
Oh, welcome to the club, Foster.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
You have an Odyssey, Kevin?
What's that?
So don't you have an Odyssey?
We got rid of the Odyssey. We have a Kia Carnival. It's an MPV. It's not a minivan.
Ah,
what's MPV stand for?
Multi-purpose vehicle or something
Oh.
like that. I mean, it's a van. For all intents and purposes, it's a van. But
Some of the new Kias they look nice. I mean, the designs have gotten way better on them.
I will say it is a very nice vehicle. Like, it has a lot of nice comfort features.
is it as good as the Odyssey was?
Uh,
No, it can't be. The Odyssey.
see, it's tough to say because the Odyssey we had was a 2015 and this one's a 24. So like,
Yeah, it's like comparing
the
apples.
technology difference between the two cars is so drastically different. Like, it's hard to compare the two.
Yeah.
You know, it's got the whole like advanced like cruise control, which is Hillary likes it. I don't, because to me the cruise control feels very intrusive. But
You mean like
it's
the
all
adaptive
adjustable.
one where if the car accelerates, you accelerate and brake and stuff?
So yes, it'll do that, but the Carnival will also, like, if you have it, depending on the mode of cruise control you have it in, if you actually hit the turn signal, it'll switch lanes for you.
Whoa.
That's nice.
Yeah. You'd think so? I don't like it.
Really? We've rented a couple cars, because all of our cars are pretty old. But whenever we go on trips, we rent something, and like I always end up getting something with like the lane assist and the adaptive cruise and all that stuff. And man, I love it, dude. You just drive down the highway and you have like a finger on the wheel.
No,
So
I mean, I like the lane keep assist and all that. It's just the whole like changing lanes on its own is a bit weird to me.
The blinker thing is weird because like my one of my friends at work has got a Tesla Model X and he had it on self-driving mode, and we're pulling off of a pretty busy 2-lane highway to get to IAG, so like you want to put your signal on early to let cars know behind you so they don't rear end you, because everyone's hauling ass in the mornings and stuff and no one's paying attention. But he had it on self-driving mode and he put the blinker on and it went into oncoming traffic in the other lane. Like, so I don't know if that's how your key is, but that sounds really sketchy to me if you put your blinker on and it switches lanes for you.
Yeah, that's pretty scary.
Yeah. That would be a bit frightening.
So don't die. Is my advice.
That's the goal. Don't die. No, I agree with you though, Foster. Like, Kia, Hyundai have done a very nice job with their vehicles. I'm very impressed by it. And
yeah, the new
it's
one's
a good car for trips. Yeah, it's a very good car for trips.
Well,
not a performance vehicle, but you know,
It serves its purpose.
it does.
I think
does.
that kind of brings us towards the end of our episode.
Yeah.
I think that you should all try. I mean, I know we're coming up in the track season, and maybe it's a good time to start. But I think you should all look up mindfulness training. I think we should all give that a shot. It's something that I know that I need to do. I struggle really, really hard in the off season in the wintertime with seasonal depression and just stress and just feel like I'm all over the place, right? So I got a suggestion to try mindfulness training. I'm going to start pretty soon. I'm going to try tomorrow. It's kind of like meditation, but you just kind of focus on being, currently present in the moment. And I think that's something that I need to work on. So
I like it.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Well, when you wake up in the morning, you're not supposed to just check your phone. You're supposed to take a moment and let your thoughts happen. But that's so much easier said than done.
I was just going to say that, Foster. That's like, I've read those articles. It's like, I try and do it every day and I fail at it every day.
Uh-huh.
I think the move is to not put your phone in the bedroom. Like, I remember when I was a kid, my mom would make us leave our cell phones on like the kitchen table or something.
Listen to this,
Couldn't
kid.
have it in
When
bed.
I was a kid and had cell phones.
Yeah.
We had
he's
pagers.
old.
We had pagers when I was a kid, Andrew.
Mhm.
I think I got a cell phone.
Leave your
when I was
pager in the kitchen.
Leave your
13 or 14.
13 or 14 cell phone.
I think I was like 13 or 14. Yeah.
I think when
Yeah,
I was
Andrew
13
was
or
probably-
14, like cell phones were still like the bag phones you had in your car. Like that's what we had.
Like they were
I guess,
like
I guess we had the Zach Morris phones too, but those were like ungodly expensive. So
I mean, we all know that you're like 50, Kevin.
I'm not 50.
Kevin's the same age as me.
44.
No,
He's not. I thought Kevin was around the same age as
10
me.
years older than you.
Oh, is he?
He's old.
How old did you think I was?
I thought you were in your like early 40s.
44. I mean,
Yeah, you're like the same, almost the same age as me. I'm what? I'm how old am I? 36, 37?
yeah,
How old am
44,
I,
36.
Trey?
It's about the same.
I mean, it's close enough.
Punch you through this computer.
Well, I think
But,
that's good advice, Patrick. I mean, and same goes for driving on track. Like, it is good to visualize the track before you go out a little bit.
Yep.
And I definitely try and practice that. So my goal is to do that more often than 25.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to have a day tomorrow. I'm gonna study how to do mindfulness training. I'm going to attempt to be more present, and I'm gonna try to get dialed in for the week we have coming up, so I can destroy Andrew and you, Foster, and do all those fun things.
Is Foster in Max 5 in the first event? I thought he was in Sport 3.
S2000's not gonna make it, is it?
I was too slow to even register, so I'm off to a bad start for the season.
Yeah,
It's,
some point main events, you got to register like day it
ASAP.
opens.
Yeah,
It's
we'll see.
just-
Car's not ready. Like Trey said, I'd rather not rush it and have a good season than rush it and then just start with problems, so.
My car's not going to be ready either, Foster, so you're in good company.
Sounds like TT slots just opened for people who want them.
They've been open, I think. I got to double check tomorrow to see where we're at.
Is TT sold out yet?
It's
sold out.
In my opinion, it's overfilled.
It was sold out a long time ago when I tried to register, so it should be sold out.
It's like 32 cars. I think the last I checked, which is arguably
That's a lot. Yeah.
32 cars with a basically 30-second spread.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be fun.
It's a test and tune, boys.
Sounds like grid light.
Any records. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's all try to have a mental health week coming up. Let's focus on getting ready for the season. Let's nut and bolt our cars and do a mental nut and bolt and
brains,
yeah. Let's have a good week coming up.
I like it. Solid advice.
What's the torque spec for a brain?
7 foot-pounds.
7 foot.
I was actually going to say 7.
7. There's science. I'll send you the link afterwards.
Some people probably have a higher torque spec than others.
Okay.
They need to be a
What
little
is
more
that?
buttoned.
What is that implying exactly?
Yeah.
What does that mean? First off,
Well,
is that a derogatory statement? Is that saying like somebody's like wound up too tight?
it could be. Maybe they need to be tightened down a
Ooh.
little bit. You know,
Who has a higher brain torque? What is the type of person that has a higher brain torque? Trey's pointing at himself, but I
Well,
don't think that's true.
You know what? Trey
I
might be a
think
good example. Yeah, like he needs
Higher
to
is better,
up a little
right?
more.
Is higher better?
Higher's better. I mean, you don't want to have a couple screws loose. That's
Well, you
bad.
think about
Ooh,
a spinal
what?
cord seems pretty.
Well, but as we discussed earlier,
you're
is
involving
more
extra
torque better when it
parts of
comes
the body.
to
Yeah, but
oil
like all
filters,
those
Andrew?
screws.
No, you want to
See?
have a little bit of lubrication there.
Huh.
Oh, wow. What? Now we're really getting off the rails. We're on lubrication and
I think
Yeah.
the analogy is falling apart, but it's okay.
I'm gonna think about that, and maybe I'll make a post on it after this.
yeah, there we go.
I am also going to think about that because I have my own comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, next week's topic. I will come
drop
back.
your
We'll
comments.
revisit this, and then
Next week's show should be exclusively
Comp school.
intra TT class shit talking.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
no, I
That's
think we got
not-
Marshall. We got Marshall on next
we
week.
should have
so
comp
school.
Oh, yeah.
We have Marshall next week, who is one of the lead instructors with WDCR in comp school, and we will be discussing how to be successful in comp school.
Yeah.
So I am actually personally excited about that.
It's gonna be a good episode. It's gonna be fun.
It's also there's a lot going on. So while I'm thinking about this out loud, Kevin, we need to push this towards the region. I don't know.
Yep, we can do that.
And
Come up with some little marketing for next week's show.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for
Okay.
having me on, guys.
All right.
Thanks for
Yeah.
having
Thank
me,
you for coming on, Foster.
Yeah, those are my PJs, and you guys put me in the show. So
I didn't even know.
Love
Like suddenly there was a Das Fust in here, and I didn't know what was going on. Yeah.
it's German.
I have
Right.
one last question to end the show. What the
All
fuck is going on behind you? Why is there a half moon cut into your wall?
It's like a light. It's a window.
Bro, that's a window.
Yeah.
Is
I
that a
live in
window?
a early 2000s colonial style house, so we get all the early 2000s flair.
Yeah.
It looks also like eggshell paint and still lamplights.
Why do you don't keep, you're the last person to judge somebody's interior decorations.
Yeah. I don't have a cool man cave like you with tracks on the wall, although I do wish I had that. That's pretty sweet.
Yes.
I can print you
I
some.
know a guy. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Thank you all for coming
Awesome.
on. Thank you all for joining me. Next
good.
week we're going to have
Marshall.
Marshall on, and we're going to talk about a lot of fun stuff. So think about your mental torques and focus on your mental health. Let's all do some
I think that's gonna stay. Mental torques.
let's all do some mental torquing.
We'll see everybody in a week.
Okay.
Bye.
guys. Good night.
Bye, guys.
Oh, Andrew just straight leaves.
Yeah.
Bye, Foster. Fine, fuck you.
Bye, guys. I'm gonna leave too.
No, go fuck you. Fuck you.
We're still live.
Yeah, I'm ending it right now.
Yeah, there we go.
I'll cut that out.
There we go.